Hello and welcome here to TalkFCB, a special celebration podcast here on this channel. We are very excited. Just a week and a half ago we started the channel up for Barcelona fans. We didn't feel there was anything like this out there. We brought you TalkFCB with Barcelona podcasts and we now have 300 subscribers. So I've decided that we should do a Q&A session where I answer all your questions on Twitter. If you don't have my Twitter address, it's at Neymar. I'll put that in the description if you want to get involved in the future. So let's get on with the questions. Now, thanks for everyone who has asked me different questions. You know, a lot of different ones here coming in, a range of different ones, which is always good to see. I asked you all to tweet them with the hashtag TalkFCB, and now we're going to see what we come up with. So let's have a look for number one. If Barca could get one player from Real Madrid, which player would you choose and why? That's from Samper Munier on Twitter. One player from Real Madrid, that is, you know, I wouldn't really want to go there for my shopping, but I think Rafael Varane, of course, an incredible young centre-back coming through, but he's had a lot of injuries of late, and we do have Marc Bartra. You know, I think there's still big things to come from him. Di Maria is an obvious one. You know, he's a phenomenal player, so it's difficult because I think, you know, he's obviously on the verge of leaving apparently as well. So if Di Maria was available, you know, he gets on very well with Messi as well, of course, Mascherano. So I'd probably go with Di Maria because he's an outstanding footballer and any club should be glad to have him in their side. Now a question here: if you could sign any player in the world for Barcelona right now, who would you sign and why? I don't know. I mean, we've had a pretty good summer in terms of signings. I don't think I'd go with any more attacking options. I don't think you can get any better players than we've had so far. So, I don't know. I'd probably go with Mats Hummels, maybe. I'm not sure. You know, you look at a centre-back signing. If you'd asked me that maybe a year or two ago, I probably would have gone with Thiago Silva. Vincent Kompany, possibly. Somebody like that, a very, very strong centre-back, good leader. That'd be nice to have, I suppose. I mean, there's some brilliant centre-backs out there. It's probably going to be one of those, if you could pick any player in the world. Question here from Loyal Powers: who will win the 2004 Golden Ball, so the Ballon d'Or, as the best player in the world? I don't know yet, to be fair. I think we're going to wait until the season starts. I think, obviously, the World Cup will put a lot of the Germany players into contention. Ronaldo, of course, has carried on his form, I suppose, into the new season now with the Super Cup. Lionel Messi, of course, will come back strong, no doubts about that. But there'll be other players in the mix as well. Probably a bit early to say yet. We've got a load of months until we come to that conclusion, so going to be interesting to see. Valter R7 has said, favourite match ever? That's a brilliant question. Off the top of my head, I know the answer here, and I know a lot of Barca fans will agree with me. Barcelona 5, Real Madrid 0. I think the El Clasico in October, the 20-something, I think. Fantastic game, beat them 5-0, played them off the park, and, you know, Jose Mourinho, his first Clasico as well, so it was even nicer to absolutely destroy them. So 5-0 Barca, that's my favourite match. Good question. Sacco Jonathan: where will Barca end up by the end of the season, and how many trophies this season in your opinion? I think we'll win the league. I do genuinely believe that. I think there's some very, very good teams in the league again this season. Real Madrid are strengthened. Atletico Madrid are better, I feel, equipped than last season. Sevilla are strong. Valencia have made some good signings. So it's going to be pretty difficult again to win the league. You know, we didn't manage it last season just about, but I think we'll come back stronger. I think the Champions League is up there for anybody to win. I think that's become more of a competition where it's all about who you draw rather than how good you are. But I think we got the league covered. I think Copa del Rey will go for as well. But I think 2 trophies next season is realistic. I think we should go for 2 trophies, and I'd be really happy if we got that. Question here from FCB Cool Chris, another good fan of mine. Who do you think our regular centre-back partnership will be? And that's one that who do I think, not rather than who do I actually think. Who will it be? I think it'll be Piqué and Vermaelen when he's fit. We'll start the season with Bartra and Mathieu because Piqué is suspended for the first match against Alger, and Vermaelen, of course, is injured. But I think it'll be Piqué and Vermaelen over the course of the season. How close do you think this season will be in terms of points in La Liga? Same as last season. I think it'll be even tighter this season. I think we'll see the gap between 4th and 3rd actually close a little bit. I think the teams are getting stronger. The competition is getting a bit more intense in La Liga now. I think it'll certainly be very close to the top again. I think all 3 teams will be involved in the title race. Good question. What do you think about Neymar as a footballer? Do you think he is the next Pele? That's one thing I don't do. I don't like comparing players with other players. I don't like when people say, he's the new Messi or he's the new Neymar, he's the new... I don't like it when people do that. I think if Neymar is going to become a great player, and he certainly has the potential to do so, I think he's got to be his own player, and he is, because he's such a unique player. I don't know any other player like him. So I think he's certainly got the potential, and I think it's a very, very big season for him. Question here from Dylan. Most hated Premier League team? I think Chelsea's got to be up there, hasn't it? I think Chelsea's got to be up there. Arsenal fans are the most annoying fans. I think Chelsea. I just don't particularly like Mourinho. I don't like the mentality of their team. Don't like the way they play. I think it's got to be Chelsea. A question here from Tom. Again, another good friend of mine. What player would you love to play for Barca? It sort of goes back to the sort of, different things. I'd have loved Aguero to have come, because I think him and Messi as a combination would have been really nice, but the actual reality of it is Messi and Aguero doesn't actually work, which is a shame, because it would have been really nice to see that sort of duo. I think there's some world-class players. I'd love to have seen Ronaldinho come back this summer, I've got to be honest. I don't think, he's no shade of the player he used to be, but it would have been really great to see him come back and just put on the Barca shirt again and stroll around the Camp Nou. It would have been just brilliant to see that, but it's a shame that didn't happen. If you could destroy 3 clubs so they never ever existed, which ones would they be and why? From Alex Jones. That is a cracking question. I'd say... I wouldn't get rid of Real Madrid, because if we got rid of Real Madrid, you lose a massive rival. And as much as I don't like Real Madrid, it's great to have them there. They're a fantastic rival to have, and they're really brilliant to come up against time and time again. So I wouldn't get rid of them. I'd get rid of clubs like Millwall, people like that just a disgrace to the game. The clubs who don't play the game properly and don't actually go out there to entertain, or they just, I would destroy clubs like that. Not big clubs, just clubs like Millwall. Adam Smith, will LFC, another good friend of mine, will LFC be able to cope without Suarez? Will be in the Champions League next season? That's a really big topic, isn't it, on Merseyside? Will Liverpool, 1, recover without Suarez, and 2, will they get back in the Champions League? I think Liverpool have made decent signings, but I think they needed to do more. These signings would have been okay if Suarez had stayed, but he hasn't, and they've lost a player there who is world class. So I think they're not going to be able to cope next season. I think they'll have a decent run in the Champions League, though. But I think the 2 combined will leave them a lot of work to do in order to qualify. But it's certainly not beyond them. Brendan Rodgers is a fantastic manager, gets the best out of his players. So there's no doubting that he may be able next season to do it. But it's just going to be very difficult for them with the 2 competitions going on side by side and losing a player, of course, of Suarez's calibre. Questions still coming in. Question here, what do you think the major tactical changes of Lucho's Barca will be? Well, I think in terms of major tactical changes, it won't be things we haven't seen before. It'll be more things that he's bringing back, like the pressing, like the formational real structure in our formation. Every player knows their role. Every player is going to be sticking to that role and have got an objective in the game. I think it's going to be more things like bringing back the principles that we had under Pep, that we had under Tito. People... really pushing the players to be their very, very best they can be. There will be formational switches. I think we are going to see different sort of roles attacking-wise this season. We're going to see proper strikers. We may well see 3 at the back at some point, which would be really interesting if that did come around, because I've never really seen that before at Barca. So it'll be really interesting to see what he does change. But I think there will certainly be changes. Barca Analysis, another good account on Twitter. If you could change anything about Barca, what would it be? Better board, new manager, style of play, etc. Before the summer, I would have said get rid of the entire board. I'm still not entirely convinced. I liked it when Joan Laporta was president. But you can't really fault what they've done this summer. I think they've actually done a pretty good job. I think they've signed some good players. They've done it very, very quickly in the window, and I'm not on their back as much as I was. But I think if you're going to change one thing about it, it would be the sort of board. They have made some shocking decisions in the past, so I don't think you can really completely forgive them, but this summer they have been okay. Question here from Nick: what do you think we can achieve this season in terms of trophies? So as I said, there is going to be a lot of challenging on for La Liga, and I think Copa del Rey, and we'll be in it for all of them. We'll go for all of the trophies. It's just, we can win them all, but it's going to have to take a lot. Everything's going to have to really slot into place to win them all, but it's certainly possible. Another question here from Mazin: who should be the starting defensive midfielder, Busquets or Mascherano? Another good question. I think it'd be great if we could find a way to fit them both in. Sort of, play them both together, because they're both outstanding players. We saw at the World Cup how good Mascherano is. Personally, I think Busquets is one of the best, if not the best, defensive midfielder I have ever seen. I think he's one of the players I rate really highly. Other people don't always see it, but he's a player that I absolutely love, Sergio Busquets, in the way that he plays the game. So it'll be difficult to dislodge him because he's so good. But I would love to see Mascherano play as well, if Lucho can somehow manage to fit them both in the team. Are you confident that Suarez's ban will be reduced? From Whitley. Decision made tomorrow by the Court of Arbitration of Court. Arbitration of Sport. Decision made tomorrow regarding Luis Suarez. Personally, I think it will be reduced. I think that the lawyers have come out and said they're confident. I think if they didn't have any inside knowledge, they wouldn't have said anything at all. So I think there must be something going on there. But certainly I think that it should be reduced. I also think he should be allowed to train with us. Hopefully those things do come into play, because I think if he can get it reduced, it will be a massive boost to us starting the season. So hopefully he can. Another question here from Barcelona for Life 5. Best ever team performance. This is going to maybe surprise a few people, but I think the 2009 Champions League final, when we played Man United in Rome, believe it or not, looking back at it now, it looks 2-0 good victory. But going into that game, Man United was so strong. They had a peak Cristiano Ronaldo who was really, really gunning on all cylinders. We went into that game probably second favourites. Nobody really expected us to at least take the game by the skin of its teeth and just really go for them, but we did. We completely outplayed them, played them off the park. Sir Alex Ferguson was saying, this is incredible, the team we're facing here, and we really did go there and really take the game to them. And it was incredible team performance in that measure. The fact that we just nullified them, passed around them, and completely played them off the park. It was phenomenal to watch. How big of an impact do you think Neymar will have this season? From Yasser. I think he'll have a good season. I think Neymar certainly knows in his own mind that this season has to be a big one. Came in for a big fee. He had a decent season last season, but it certainly wasn't the standard he will expect from himself. So I think Neymar will produce this season, and he certainly will arrive on the big stage of Barca. Question here from Randa4Z. Where do you think Royce would fit in? Interesting question, because there's been a lot of rumours again that Royce could well be on his way. Personally, it's difficult, isn't it? You've got so many attacking players to fit in a player like Marco Royce, an incredible player in himself. It'll be next summer, so we'll see, where we're at in terms of players. He would add incredible depth to the squad, incredible quality, but it's somebody like that I wouldn't want sitting on the bench. So if it means that will happen, then I'd rather not sign him, but I would certainly be an incredible acquisition, really, from Luis Enrique. Another question here. Who is your single favourite La Masia player at the moment? From SCV Cure Chris. Second question, thanks for getting involved. Favourite La Masia player? There's so many, isn't there? We produce so many young stars. Alan Halilovic. I'm not going to sit on the fence. Alan Halilovic is my favourite and most exciting young La Masia player at the moment. From what I've seen of him so far this pre-season, he has got absolutely everything. He's quick, agile, good on the ball. He's got a good shot. He's pretty confident on the ball. Pretty strong for his size, which is something you wouldn't expect from him. Technical quality is outstanding. He's just dribbles, but he's got he's got incredible talent, but he's got a little bit of everything in him. He's got a little bit of Messi, a little bit of Iniesta. Like I said earlier, I don't like it when you compare players, to different. He's not the new Iniesta. He's not the new Messi. He's Halilovic. But what he has got is aspects of their game, and he can really grow as a player. He can really become quite an incredible talent, and that's why I'm so excited about him, and it's going to be brilliant to see him in the next few years. Do you think Barcelona will loan players out to Everton in the future? From Ollie. Yeah, I do. I'm surprised that we didn't loan anyone this summer, although it's not over yet. We may see Deulofeu join Everton at some point. I think they were very impressed with the way Everton handled Deulofeu last summer, and I wouldn't be a bit surprised if next summer we see possibly Adama Traore go to Everton, possibly Munir Al-Haddadi go to Everton. Somebody like that. I think next season we'll certainly see another player go to Everton, because I'm surprised it didn't happen this season. Another question here. Who is your favourite player and why? I've got to be completely honest and say, of course, I absolutely love Lionel Messi. The guy is a complete god to me. But I don't have a player that I would say that's my favourite player. Like, if I was going to get a player on the back of my shirt, it would be somebody I liked at that time. I've not really got an outstanding... I love all the Barca guys. Iniesta is just an incredible player, something I've never seen before. I admire Xavi Hernandez. There's real players at the club. Neymar is obviously such an exciting talent. There's so many different players that I like, and for different reasons. But of course, Lionel Messi is just, something quite incredible we'll never see again, and I really appreciate watching him, really. So that's pretty much the end of the questions. That's all we've got. We've got through quite a lot here, a lot of different questions, and we've got to a lot of different answers. Hope you've enjoyed it, guys. Hope, you got some answers out of this. I mean, you probably agree or disagree with some of these, so it'll be interesting to see in the comments if you got your question answered and you disagree with what I'm saying. Then please let me know. I'm interested to hear your opinions as much as you're interested to hear mine, maybe. So please comment below what you think. If you've got any more questions, we'll be doing another Q&A when we get to 400 subscribers, so let's hope that's as quick as possible. So please leave a like for this video, get involved on Twitter, follow me at Neymar for more interaction. And thanks as always for having me, guys. Thanks for listening along, and brilliantly for everyone who asked questions. Thanks a lot. So thanks for watching. Please like, comment and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next podcast.